Hey everybody, Spidey here, and as always, I hope you're having a marvelous day. As you can tell, I am in Dallas, Texas at Heritage Auction, and we've got a special preview. They're gonna let me tour the facility and see some original art, particularly Marvel trading card art, and you're not gonna wanna miss it. Let's go. All right, everybody, we have made it through the significant amount of security to get into the room that has what I'm really excited to show you, which is original art for Marvel trading cards. I'm here with my friend Jeremy. Again, we are at Heritage Auctions, and I can't wait to turn around and start talking about what we got here. So we're not gonna bury the lead. We're gonna go right into the Greg and Tim Hildebrandt original art for Spider-Man and Wolverine. Most of the viewers of the channel know this, but if you don't know, Marvel cards really had a transformation from being a novelty to really becoming something special in the trading card space, because in 1990 they started creating original art for the cards as opposed to using the comic book images.
Yeah,
right?
like reusing everything, right?
And they didn't just get, you know, some random artist. Greg and Tim Hildebrandt, we're talking about the artists who actually did the original art for the movie poster for Star Wars in 1977. So we're talking about the top, the cream of the crop. Well, they did a full set in 1994, and I mean, they just knocked it out. Not only just with the character itself, but even with the background, the lighting. They do just an incredible job bringing out the light in their artwork. It's bright and it's vibrant. But
with the details too.
Oh yeah, it looks like,
Like looking into the rooms.
I've never seen this, because on the trading cards you lose a lot of what makes the art special, but you can see people dancing inside of these buildings or life happening in it, which is absolutely amazing.
You can see through the bay off into the distance.
That is amazing. And one of the things that's actually really cool about this piece is nowadays, if you have an iconic, memorable, noticeable building that almost has a trademark, they won't let you put it in the art anymore on the card. So, but this Spider-Man, this is the thing of my childhood right here. This is really, really special, and these are going to be available for auction soon.
Yeah, I'm actually, after I actually left this out for you today,
Yeah.
We're wrapping it all up and going straight to the National with it. So it's going to be on display at the National in Chicago, starting like Wednesday next week. And then all this is currently live in auction now, and that auction ends, the extended bidding part of the auction starts on August 14th.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I really like how you have these stacked, because Spider-Man is clearly #1.
Well, when I walked in, somebody else set it up, and I had this on the bottom, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to move this for Spidey hits right now. Yeah. So I moved to the top. And we recently sold the base card version of Spider-Man for about $82,000 in an auction. I don't know, was that about a month ago or so?
About a month ago.
So I had a chance to see that art and this art, and I like this one better. This is a really cool piece.
They're both really good. I can't imagine seeing them both in person. The thing that I'm really surprised about is the size of this. For original art for a trading card, which we'll see some other original art in a second, this is massive.
Yeah, you know, what I did notice and what I've learned through them is they didn't paint all the same sizes, even for the same set, because Hawkeye here is from the same set, and look how they're smaller. So they really wanted to get some detail and go bigger on this stuff.
Yeah, so Wolverine, by the way, no slouch. I absolutely adore
No
Wolverine.
slouch. I know somebody that wants this one.
Yeah.
We both know the guy.
Yeah, we know some Wolverine collectors. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. Man.
Now, do you think, and this is something the base card versus a hollow fold card, so this art was only used for an insert, that's harder to chase. Do you think that makes it even more of a chase art piece?
It's interesting that you say that, because when people were buying some Marvel Masterpieces art before the set released, and there was some conversation about, well, what if this ends up being an insert versus a non-insert? And honestly, I still think the quality of the art is actually what wins in the end.
Okay.
Whether it's an insert or not an insert. But when you can have top quality art and it be an insert, I think you have something really, really special.
I know, I really like this.
Yeah, it's so good.
And when you get to actually look at it, you're amazed about how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
And then when you have the card, and you love the card, but all that shrinking down and being on the gloss, you don't get the texture, you don't get the feel, and you don't see all these details on the card. So it's so amazing.
Speaking of texture, can I?
Yeah, you can touch it.
Am I allowed to touch? Oh my gosh. I mean, it is absolutely unbelievable.
Well, and if you were to get really close, they're kind of like blobby type shapes, if I like an abstract, but when you kind of pull away for a little bit, then you start seeing what it is. Like, you know, people hanging out in their living room or kitchen there.
Yeah,
and then you see got a fire going down here.
Well, another thing that's fascinating is they were thoughtful enough to say, hey, we got these spotlights going up, but the lights in the windows would still shine through it. I mean, unbelievable the detail that they have. And there's a fire going on, so maybe he's coming to or from rescuing something.
Now, I don't know where the original sketch is, because on the other one that we saw, we actually had the original sketch for it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that, just kind of seeing how rough it was and what they decided to do.
From what I understand with the Hildebrandts is they did a ton of preliminary work.
Right.
So they would have these little sheets of paper and they would do a preliminary, and then kind of take the idea of all of them and put them together into the painting. Just unbelievable. It's so dynamic to have him web slinging. And I think one of the things that's tough about Spider-Man is his pose is done so much. It's hard to have this kind of original pose that stands out, but they nailed it.
It's very the contrast, the shadows, the light coming up and hitting his chest here. It's very cool.
So good. All right, let's talk about
we can beat this one up all day long.
Oh, well, I did want to say something about the webbing here. It's just...
In this webbing, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is where isn't this the stuff that kind of came off of McFarlane? When he the one that started doing this type of webbing?
So McFarlane did the, what they call spaghetti web type webbing, and at first he was kind of your old guard didn't like it. They didn't like that transformation, but obviously it took off. They sold millions of comics, and it kind of stuck with Spidey after 1988, 89. 90.
Yeah, it's a lot more aggressive and there's more detail when you do that, because if it was just like a straight string, it wouldn't seem so dramatic.
Right. All right, so now we have Wolverine. Wolverine is in his element, right? He is out in the mountains in the cold. He is Canadian, so I think it's maybe that's why they put him there. But I always wonder.
He's not a very nice Canadian, if you can look at his face.
There's a couple of things about this that's interesting to me. So as you know, Wolverine has always been portrayed as a shorter character, right? From his inception all the way up. But he doesn't feel small at all in this piece. And we saw that really
they did the Tom Cruise treatment to him.
Tom Cruise, but Hugh Jackman really brought that to life later. But he is so menacing. I think he has to be fighting Sabretooth in this, but we don't know what character or what thing he is about to attack and maul, but it is... you do not want to be in his way in this one.
Yeah, and they have some of the details. You get a lot more details in the background of this one, but then you'll find the details in this one in his face, and the hair on his arm and stuff. You'll see that they appropriately put it in the right places. They don't just do it to do it.
Yeah. You know, you just lose some of this in the card, but man, it's...
Yeah, even like in the shadowing in the hand and stuff. It's very nice. The more I look at it, the more I like it. Well, this one's still my winner.
And then to think that 2 people painted this. So
I know, it's pretty crazy.
2 minds came together, 4 hands came together to create one piece of original art. I have no idea how to do that. I can't hardly pick where to go eat at a restaurant with my wife with 2 people, more or less put together a piece of original art that looks this amazing.
Well, we can start working on one together if you want to try this.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's going to quite turn out like this. But like you were talking about, you have other Hildebrandt pieces. Again, all this is from 1994 Marvel Masterpieces. This is the Hawkeye from that piece. So on the Hawkeye, they did a smaller scale, but I love the fact that you have a card here so we can kind of get a reference of how this translated into, onto the product, onto the card itself. But one of the things that the Hildebrandts did in the 94 set is they put moons in a lot of their pieces. So now, years later, as a collector, I love any card that has a good moon in the background. And Hawkeye, and of course Spider-Man obviously, is really showing that off really well here. And Hawkeye is one of those characters that it's hard to get him in a pose that's differently than you see all the time. He's always just, pulling back an arrow. But they have this way of doing these shots from kind of down up that really creates a lot of energy in the card, and that one certainly shows it.
And you notice on the smaller pieces, they sign with a T and G instead of their full names.
Oh, that is a great point. So these have full Greg and Tim Hildebrandt, where this one just says T plus or T and G Hildebrandt. That is a really good call out. It makes that even more special, I think.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
All right, Jeremy, you're gonna have to tell me about this piece here, this little devilish looking baby.
Oh, so this is, everything here I set up for Spidey hits was all Marvel. I just threw this in here to, they're all in the same auction right now, and this piece is another original art piece that's in the auction, but it's a Garbage Pail Kid from the '85. It's Hot Scott. This is done by John Pound. He's basically the artist for Garbage Pail Kids, so
Wow.
he's the highest collectible one, and I think this is almost already at 20 grand in the auction. So,
holy smokes!
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people that love this stuff. Anything from Series 1 and kind of Series 2 of some of the main fun characters, like this is one of them they really want. Like the biggest one obviously would be the Atom Bomb.
Atom Bomb, yeah.
And that right now has a standing offer of $1 million.
Good Lord. So, Tops, if you're listening, we need a Marvel Garbage Pail collab card set. So he can sell the art and we can have the cards.
That would be very, they can do that now too, right?
Yeah.
Seeing this guy as a Wolverine or a Spider-Man.
Oh, that would be
kind of fun. Yeah. Hey, Michael Rubin, let's get this done.
Let's make it happen, yeah. I'm a huge Art Adams fan. There's lots of fans of Art Adams, obviously. But back in the 90s, I referenced this earlier, in 1990 they started making original art for the cards, when 1990 Impel Marvel Universe. And then they come out with Series 2, which is from 1991, and they would have the original comic book creators, like Art Adams, sketch and draw the cards, and then they would have Paul Mounts come back and do the color on top of it. So you'll have this pen and ink version, and then the final version that we see here is going to have the color from Paul Mounts. And so that's how that.
They kind of did more like a traditional comic.
So you're not going to find one painting or one piece that's the full production of the card.
Right.
You're going to have this kind of sketch.
And we kind of have an example of that behind you, the other part of it.
What's cool is it's not unlike the Marvel way or the comic book way of creating comic books, where
Right.
you have multiple, creators working on one page, right?
Right.
So you have multiple creators working on one card, but the origin of the art is, in this case, Art Adams, and to think that you have.
It's cool to just have one of these.
Well, to
right?
have 9 pieces of original art, because each one of these are original art for the card, right?
Right.
As in one uncut sheet, to me is just unbelievable, right? It's incredible.
And we ended up with a couple of Hulks on here, Captain America, Wolverine.
Look,
it's actually a pretty good sheet, too.
I would say that when you can get an Arthur Adams Wolverine, because his Wolverines are iconic. Now, he's got some other characters that are iconic too, but a lot of the advertising you'll see for Wolverine that they use when they're using kind of a 90s kind of style art, it's an Arthur Adams Wolverine. Okay?
Gotcha.
And if I showed you the image, you'd be like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that. That's him. But to have Doctor Doom, 2 Hulks, Spider-Man, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider is an incredible character. But on top of that, the holograms were the big chase as a kid, right? So you got 3 of the holograms represented as well. There's not a better 9 sheet of art from 1991 MU than you have right here. Top artists, top characters, all on one piece of art. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love this piece too.
So the piece we're about to show, I've actually already started bidding on, so it's going to be fun for me to talk about, but probably also a detriment to my bids. But 1990 Marvel Universe that we've mentioned already is that first iteration of original art for trading cards. And for us in the Marvel card world, this is kind of the first time we really became like true trading cards, right? Because they emulated what a baseball card would be.
Right.
And the design with the white border, with the statistics on the back. Bob Budiansky oversaw that project for Marvel. And this was important because this was at the time that Marvel was going public, where they had to have, investors and shares and things like that. And this set really put them on the map, and it did so well that they later went on and bought Skybox and Flair.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember some of that history there. It was kind of funky.
It's kind of funky, but this is really where the start of that was. Original art from Marvel comic book creators in trading card format that just landed. I mean, it landed really hard. One of the reasons is because you have these comic book artists creating art. Now, what's special about this piece, not only is it a great team picture, but coming a little bit closer.
Oh, there's a surprise I don't even know about.
Yeah, so you have Strong Guy, Rogue, Psylocke, Jubilee, Havoc. I don't know who that is, honestly. Storm, Forge, Wolverine with a great cigar in his mouth. But this is Gambit. And this is Gambit's first appearance on a trading card.
Okay.
And what's really cool about that, this is in 1990. Well, Gambit's first appearance in comic books is really close to the first appearance of this card. And like sports cards where you can have a player enter into the league and then immediately get a rookie card made, you don't really get that in Marvel cards. A lot of times they have to become popular first and then they get put on a trading card or have some run in a comic book.
Right.
But for Gambit to have a trading card appearance really close to his actual first appearance, I think is really special. But people often miss this because his name is not on the checklist. But this is actually the first time he appears on the trading card. So,
oh, awesome.
If you're a Gambit fan and you want the original art of Gambit on a trading card,
I believe that's his Paul Mounts.
This is Paul Mounts. So again, what this is you have the original inks are done, but then Paul Mounts comes and does the coloring for it. And what happens then? This is actually the art that is used for the printing of the card. So it's original in the fact that it's colored, but the actual art there's a pen and ink version somewhere.
Right, like on the frame. It
like
starts that and then goes to here.
Like we saw with the Arthur Adams that I put in the car.
Yeah. Where'd that thing go?
I love this piece, man. I think it's really special.
I wasn't even going to put this out. I didn't know. I was just going to put those two out. I was like, all right, I'll put all the cool stuff out right now.
Well, I'm glad you did.
You call that Gambit's rookie card.
Yes, in a lot of ways, that's Gambit's first appearance.
Well, you know, and when you call a rookie, you'll get sports people going, they're not athletes, and they just first appearance, right?
Yeah. I like the term first appearance. I think it really fits the genre of comic book characters on a card because you get first appearance in comics. I think rookie card is efficient when you're trying to explain something quickly that people can understand.
I will let you actually just told me something I didn't really know about him, so you just keep on rolling.
Yeah, so these are oversized cards, right, of sketch cards. Typically they're going to be the traditional size and you pull them out of a pack. But one of the things that companies like Rittenhouse did is when they mailed the blanks for the artists to do the sketches, they would also give them something called an artist proof. Now, AP or an artist proof allowed that artist to do sometimes greater work and then sell it as a commission or sell it to a collector, and allowed them to make more revenue, more income than they made just doing the sketches that went into the packs. And so
there was a little love given back to the artist from Rittenhouse.
It was very much love giving back to the artist. And it was really important because then it allowed the collector to engage with the artist to get something that they wanted. Like this person obviously is a big Iron Man fan and does not like Captain America. And so he said, I want Iron Man, I'm Team Iron Man. I want him to beat Captain America and I want him to take his shield. And the artist sat down and made that happen for that collector more than likely. Now this...
There's so much detail too in these oversized cards.
It allows them to do a lot more work. I mean, could you imagine the eyesight for an artist to do the smaller details on this scale? But this likely was possibly a case topper. It didn't fit in the pack. It's not it is an artist proof. I missed this the first time. This is not a case topper.
And that's Randy Martinez.
Yeah,
He's
Randy
done a lot
Martinez.
of cool stuff.
That is cool. We get the sci-fi guns, which are great. Doom versus Red Skull. Love that.
I don't know if that one's an artist proof or not either. Maybe it
Let's
is.
see.
It is.
It is an artist proof. Okay.
All three of them are artist proofs.
If you see one this size and it's not an artist proof, it likely was a case topper.
Yeah, Rittenhouse did a lot of that kind of stuff.
They incentivized the dealers to buy cases, and if they did, they got a bonus.
Yeah, and then if they had if they bought 3 cases, they would get something else, and they bought 5 cases, they would get something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some really cool, desirable stuff. And so, yeah, these are fun. I love having these in my collection as well. They're little mini pieces of original art. And one of the great things about original art sketch cards is that they're technically published paintings. Like Marvel sees them as published art that you get in a card, and sometimes I think that important fact is overlooked.
Yeah. He wants to hold that one and like put his arms around it, like hug it.
I'm about to do it. That feels like permission.